but it leads you that sense of hope, of fullness, of love as the big word that stands out, but not the human love.
Yes.
And to me, what are your thoughts on it? It leaves me the sense
Well,
of awe, I suppose.
yes, or I mean, love's a very interesting thing, and it's, I think it's significant that we only really have one word for it in English, whereas you go to Sanskrit, you find many more, and as some of the commentators say, English is a brilliant language at describing the outer world.
Yeah.
But if you want to describe the inner world, you need something that's designed for it, like
100%,
Sanskrit.
100%. Yeah. The same with Arabic and Farsi, I might add.
Is it?
Farsi
Interesting.
is,
Yeah.
all the poetry on love comes from Farsi. When you read most of them, you read about how they describe this love and linked into this cosmic type of love. Farsi is incredible. I mean, Rumi is wrote in Farsi as an example.
Yes.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Love is very often considered to be a verb by English speakers. I don't think it is. I mean, I know what it's like to fall in love and to fall out of love and to be loving and all of that. But the kind of love we're talking about is something I think very, very different. And it's felt. You don't do it. In fact, ultimately, you become it.
There we go.
And
same as the word the ineffable or God or all those things.
Yes.
It's exactly the same. Yeah,
absolutely. And perhaps the closest to love is another word which is very often misused, and that's consciousness.
Yeah, it's used a lot.
Yeah, and I think that the realization I had with that word was that, again, we are not conscious in the sense that consciousness is an emergent property of the human brain. Awareness is, but that's something slightly different. So you can be aware of something, unaware. You can be asleep or awake. But consciousness is a state that one can enter into, one can connect with. And again, the words are inadequate here, but it is all present. It's omniscient. It's omnipresent. It's and again, some of these teachings that we're talking about tell us that the entire universe is created out of consciousness. Now, that is a concept which is far too big for the human intellect to grasp. And that can only be, I imagine, because the human intellect is a product of the creation and of consciousness. And therefore, it's a bit like trying to bite your own teeth. You cannot grasp.
Was Alan Watts' famous line? He said that.
Alan, I'm a big fan of Alan Watts. I could listen to him all day long. And what's really interesting, I find, is that I've been experimenting for the past year or so with the idea of being that love. So, I more and more regularly, I am reminded of my state by a particular feeling. So somebody might say something that irritates me. Immediately, that's a signal to me that I'm not completely aligned with myself. And it's a nudge to get back into alignment by being the love that I am. Now, that's a really interesting exercise. And I really commend this to your listeners. And I'm sure this is something you've practiced in the past. But when you decide to become what you want to be, and you bypass the intellectual process of trying to become it, then some amazing things can happen. In fact, Shakespeare talks about this. He says, if you don't have a particular virtue, just adopt it. He uses Shakespearean language. And this is eminently possible. Now, our intellects will tell us it's not possible, that you have to do work and become it. But that's not the case. You can, just through a decision, an inner decision, you can become anything you want to be. And a good place to start is with love, with being the love that you would want in your world.